Welcome to Sea Sparkles Corner. My mother is going to share with you the evolution from icebox to refrigerator.
Oh, okay. All right. I was a little girl, and my grandfather and grandmother had a tin thing that was square like this, and that's where it was in the window. And you open the window, and you got your meat and anything spoilable out of it, because we lived in Massachusetts then, and then Daddy and Mom about a year after that, I can remember, they bought the first little ice box. It was called a house ice box, and it looked like a refrigerator, but you got ice that came to the day for 25 cents, a big thing. That's the first thing my folks had when I was young. The box I was talking about was my grandparents. They had that for years and years. But then Dad and Mom, about the time I became about 13 or 14, got the first refrigerator that didn't need ice anymore. And then the Mr. Miller, who came every day, that brought us ice for the refrigerator, told we don't need it here anymore. And he was heartbroken. And he was the one that had a cow farm. And when I was a little girl, I guess I was about 4 or 5 when the doctor found out I couldn't have raw milk anymore because of something, and so I had to have pasteurized milk. And so he came every day with a little tiny bottle of milk for me to drink every day because it was pasteurized.
Tell us what your first refrigerator looked like. I'm sure they
They're
don't look
all
like.
white.
I'm sure they don't look like they do nowadays.
No, and the first ones were only white. And I think part of them were pale yellow, if I remember rightly. But the first one I remember is the box in the window. But that was only when I was real young. And then Daddy got his first refrigerator. And that one side of them had blocks of ice, and the right side of them had the groceries in it, you know. And then I think I was about 14 or 15, Daddy got a regular refrigerator. Everything was white in those days, you know.
What did the regular refrigerator look like?
It was just it had a door, it was white with a big, huge door in the front, a whole length of it, and it opened with like this. You didn't have a lock or anything. There was no key. It was like a clamp, you know, like this, and you clamped it up, and then you clamped it back down. So that was...
How big were they? Were they? I'm sure they weren't like the 21 cubic foot freezer.
Oh, no, they were just small.
Or your huge refrigerator.
Oh, about this high.
Okay,
they were just
small.
a box, like a box.
Okay, was it square, rectangular, oval?
Square.
Square.
Square, but a little bit taller than that.
Did it have shelves in it?
Just one in the middle on each side.
Okay.
The left side inside was aluminum, that silver stuff.
So it was a plug-in, so you didn't have to buy
Yeah,
ice.
it was a plug-in.
Okay, how much did it hold?
It held ice. Well, when we first got it, they had ice in it. Then, I don't remember what happened except, no, it wasn't a real big one. Daddy had to bend down to get the stuff out. You only had a big thing like this. When, like this.
Yeah, okay.
They had 2 shelves, that's all, like this. And it was like a box with one, just 2 sections. No drawers or anything. There were just holes like, so that's the way. And when I was first a little girl, I had to go out in the backyard to a wooden toilet. Daddy dug a new one every year and put it in the area of about 5 acres.
Okay, after that refrigerator, and which was a small size of a box, what occurred next?
Well, of course, Dad got a big one by the time I was about 14 or 15.
A regular refrigerator?
Yeah. But they still didn't have all the shelves yet.
It didn't have no freezer at this point, right?
No, it was strictly...
Freezers were not heard
I don't
of.
remember that, Donna. That was 70 or 80 more years ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember all of it. I think we had, by the time I was, well, by the time,
I know by the time I knew Nana and Granddad, they had a big, huge freezer and a
yeah,
regular
but that
refrigerator
didn't
and
happen.
freezer.
That didn't happen when
When
until
did
I was
okay?
a
When did
grown up.
the evolution from plain refrigerators, to refrigerators with freezers on the top of the side start to become? Was that during your childhood or?
No, just refrigerator. I don't remember anything like that, but I can't remember all that stuff. Don, it was too long ago. But I know by the time I got married when I was 19, it was a regular refrigerator then, and one compartment was a freezer and the rest. But I think in the early ones they were on the side, and then
Okay.
they went to the refrigerators. But you can't remember everything, you know. But you gotta remember, grew up during the war, and my father had 10,000 chickens, and I had to take care of those before I went to school every day. And I candled the eggs.
You said that on another video.
I don't think I said about candling the
Yes, you did.
Yeah, okay, well, let that go at that. What else do you want me to tell?
We were talking about.
Oh, I went camping as a little girl.
Okay, since we were talking about the refrigerators, which
Donna,
let's stick to appliances. Tell us about the stoves.
Oh, yeah, they were.
That must be interesting how they evolved.
Well, we first used wood in the stove, then we used coal.
Tell us about the coal stoves. How did they work? Did you have to shovel it, or did you get it delivered, or what?
Oh, a big, huge pickup truck brought it from the place where they sold it, the coal. Yeah, and
For you to cook with.
yeah, and after we had a furnace in the cellar, and the first one was we burned wood. Then the second furnace became a little bit different. We got oil. After the wood, we went from wood to coal.
To understand, people, this was before oil was banned for polluting the air bad.
Oh, I had oil in my house the whole time I had my own house.
It's banned now.
Yeah, but it wasn't banned when I owned my house either.
Yeah.
It happened after I moved down here.
Yeah.
But Dad and Mom and I and my younger brother, we went camping every summer. And the first year, we went in a little tiny tent. And then the next year, Dad bought an army cot. Those were the days when the war was over, and we got the army cot. It took all day to put it up. Then Dad and Mom went to a thing with a little trailer with a thing, and it opened up just for sleeping. That's all it was. So we
Those
cooked
are
out.
nice.
We cooked on the fireplace with wood. You know, and went camping. And every year, my folks and I and my younger brother, we climbed a different mountain. That was the thing that Mom and Dad loved to do.
Yeah, they told
You
me.
know. And then when I got married to my husband, we bought an old army tent at the beginning, and I had 2 cribs. As we went along, we gradually got 3 cribs. But that's the way it went, you know. And then when I got all the children grown up, I went to a travel trailer. But we did the army camp. We went camping in Connecticut and in Maine in those days. And then we ended up camping in New Hampshire all the time. And Connecticut, we went Connecticut. Oh, and when the children were growing up, I bought my big travel trailer, and everything was in it, including cooking and a regular refrigerator. They were all small. And when my husband was working, I took all the children down to the Panama Canal. Not the Panama Canal. What was the name of the canal? In Wareham, Massachusetts. I can't remember. But you went to see we saw the ships go by all the time. And all you children went fishing every day. So we ate fish the whole time we were down there. We had a lovely time. You children had a lovely time. And I bought you all bikes, and we all went bike. And we always biked all those years. I always had a bike, and I always bought my kids bikes. So it was, good time. And then in April, when the kids are out of school for a week, we used to go down to the canal. That's where we couldn't swim. It's not allowed. But we went fishing and ride our bikes and everything and all that good stuff. Because years before that, we had a cottage in Hamilton Beach when I was growing up. That was the second one Daddy bought. But he built that one, so. The one in Hamilton Beach, Dad built that one. And we sold we sold the first cottage in Wareham Beach. And 2 weeks after we bought it, a hurricane hit. And after the hurricane, the cottage we just sold 2 weeks before, there was none. Because it was right on the ocean. It completely wiped up. But we had bought one higher up in an island in Hamilton Beach. And the only thing that happened, every time the high tide came in, we couldn't get off the island because it was only dirt, one dirt road to the island. And there was exactly 33 houses on that island. Dad built that one over there. So I spent until I was about 16 spending my summers down there on the ocean, where I went down and Daddy bought me a little boat with a small motor, and I went out in the ocean all the time. But get this, I don't know if you ever heard of quahogs, but they're very tasty, and every day I go on low tide and in the mud and dig them out, and we take them up to the house, and Mother would cook them. So we had 3 meals all the time on the seafood. Pretty good, huh? Yeah.
Seafood's expensive nowadays, so just think of all the money
Yeah,
Nana
yeah,
saved.
we never paid a dime, and there was always plenty of the quahogs. And of course we had the oysters too, and all that other stuff. So that was a kind of a treat.
Yeah.
And you've got to remember, we ate them raw. We also ate the quahogs raw. I wouldn't do that now for anything, so.
Sounds gross.
That's just little things I can remember here and there, but I did so many things you'd never get them. And when we went to school, I was in the 8th grade, we went down and we all got in the school bus in the morning, and we went to see the Red Sox play, and we went in and sat and saw it live. And I was trying to think what they were playing. The Red Sox played and won. That was when all the famous ones, Ted, was a big shot and all that. So we did a lot, And on my summer vacation, on a big lot of land near us, not too far away, they always had a circus. And I went there, and I took the tickets and took the money in. And so, of course, I got in free. And what I liked about it is I got to ride the free horses there after I finished my shift. Because my cousin Joan had a horse, of course I rode there all the time. But yeah, I got to ride horses for free, and that was fun, for an hour every afternoon. So that was another time we had fun. It used to come every summer. And it had a Ferris wheel, Everything was hand done in those days, And they sold, the things that you eat, the sugar things, what are they called? I don't know if they have them anymore. That you buy them on a stick. The pink stuff and the white stuff.
Thinking.
I can't think of it either.
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy, yeah.
I never had it till I was grown.
And that and hot dogs and hamburgers. I mean, it was in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had no, the only thing we had was a little tiny grocery store, and then it was a place where we got our mail, and that was it. I lived out in the country. So it was nice. But Daddy was a carpenter, and he built hospitals and churches. And in his spare time, he had a garden. and he had everything you could name. He even raised rhubarb, and we had rhubarb all the time, every summer, and potatoes and all the veggies. And he blueberry trees, apple trees, peach trees in the yard. So you see, we always ate. And then of course we had all our chickens, you know, and hens, and I had to candle eggs before I could go to school. And the old-fashioned thing was a tin thing, like this, I mean flat, and then you put an egg in and drop it down, and then you read this thing over here that had a chart that would move, and that's how I candled the eggs and put them in every morning before I went to school. And in those days, we made our own butter and our own cream by sitting on the porch and going like this. Oh yeah, I was never bored. So that's a few things of what I did in the old. And of course, my father and mother couldn't afford me a bike, but Daddy had an English bike that he brought over from England, and he said, Sylvia, you can ride that. Now you're tall enough. I rode it for years. I never got a bike, but the bike, I couldn't sit on the seat because I wasn't tall enough. So I rode 8 miles over to the chocolate factory because I wanted to get some chocolate because I had a boyfriend over there at the time. And I had to ride Dad's bike all the way over there, standing up and coming back. Try that one. I'm telling you.
Worth it for free chocolate.
Yeah, yeah. And I actually got bags of free chocolate every time I went over because I had this so-called boyfriend, you know. And we always, you know, and the kids in those days were different than they are today. But I did that 4 or 5 times, then I got sick of the guy, you know. That was it, and I went with somebody else. But, I mean, there's so much, you know. And in the old days, when I grew up, before I got married, I walked 2 miles to the end of my property. We had 5 acres. And the train went at the end of the thing, so I had to walk down there. And I rode a train for 4 hours to get to work. And in order to do that, you sit in chairs that are like bricks. They're wooden chairs. And the coal would come in the windows and you'd spit it out and get in your hair. And then I walked 4 miles to my job where I ran an electric machine where I put together all bread, cakes, muffins, all that sort of thing. I put the wrappings on all of them. I ran the machine. I fixed the machine myself. Then I had to take 4 hours to walk back to the train to get back to Norfolk, Mass, where I was living. And then I had to walk from the train 5 acres to my house where my parents lived. Oh yeah, that's just a little of what I did in my. And one time, I don't know what you call it now, but in those days it was a regular old choo-choo train with coal. It burned coal.
Steam train.
And then they come along with this fancy train that was didn't burn coal, and everybody's waiting to look at it, right? Because it was a new thing, and so we were all standing down the end of Daddy's property, and we saw it go by, and it never stopped in Norfolk because they said that was too small a station for them to stop. But I got to see it, and that in those days, that kind of train was a big thrill. Because now there's no such thing anymore. They're all
Amtrak.
yeah, they're
Beautiful.
all go. It don't take 10 hours to get to a job or anything, Because I worked in Norwood, Mass, and then when I finished working there, I went to a nursing home and I worked there. Then I ended up working somewhere else, and that's when I met my husband, John, and he wouldn't allow me to work, but I did work for a while at where I made things and invented them, but we won't go into that. But that's a little bit of some of my life. It's only a little tiny bit of it. But I had 3 girlfriends. We all stuck together. And I'm sure I told you about my swimming. How I started swimming at 10 months old. I already told you. That's enough today.
Thanks
See
for
you
sharing.
some other time. And it's a lovely hot summer day here with a breeze. And I just finished swimming in the pond across the street.
Pool.
In the pool across the street. And I'm in a wheelchair so that I could, it's all on a ramp, so I can go right up to the water. So, and then we just got home a little while ago, and Donna and I are going to play some cards for a little bit and then watch a telly. Bye-bye. See you some other day. Bye-bye.
It's October 23rd, 2023, and it's a Monday. And thank you for sharing that with us, especially about the evolution of the refrigerator. Because nowadays, we have such beautiful, different sizes, shape, and descriptions, and we don't have to worry about bringing in ice and keeping
I
cold
didn't
food in the
tell,
larder.
did I, about how I helped my father build the house we lived in.
You can do that next video.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for watching, and as always, the fun never ends. In
But I don't
Seasparkle
think people
Corner.
will be interested. But
Feel
you
free to
could try.
share. Feel free to subscribe. Hugs and kisses from My Family Shows. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.